Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we want to talk about a very interesting question, and we're going to go into some gameplay, some footage and stuff like that. But the question today is the A in Neo worth it? What do you mean by worth it? And should I get it, right? So the first thing is, what is the A in Neo? Well, the A in Neo is a Windows 10 computer. It's a Ryzen 5 4500U. They have a Pro version that has a Ryzen 7 in it. 6 cores, 6 threads, base clocks, and boost clocks are listed respectively below. So as you can see, this is Ppsspp, and what this is a PSP emulator. I opted to get all of these PlayStation games onto the 1TB NVMe hard drive that is built in, because I believe that this is a portable computer. And what would I play on a portable computer? I would run PSP portable games. And that is for multiple reasons. Reason number one, they look very clean, and the system has no issues emulating PSP at all. The system is complete overkill for PSP games. Another thing is I wanted to consider was TDP, total drawn power. Because I didn't want it to be too high, because if I'm playing something that's portable, I want the battery life to last, because if I'm going to be playing this device, I'm probably going to be playing it either on a plane, in a car, something that I won't necessarily have accessible power to, or if I do, it's going to be a slow charge. It's not necessarily going to be a 65-watt charge. So this would be, if I'm out at a coffee shop or anything like that, I would want to or if I'm just sitting on my couch, right? I want to be able to play a game that is enjoyable, being comfortable, but also not have to worry, is my controller, console, etc. going to die? And if so, is my games going to save? Did I lose all this progress for nothing? So I chose to do PSP games for a couple of reasons. Number one, like I said, was because it's complete overkill. This system has no issues running it with the specs that are listed and given. The second thing is I chose because it has a good extensive library. And the third thing is, if I play PSP games, I'm guaranteed around 4 hours of battery life. Depending on the game, it might be a little bit more or it might be a little bit less on the battery. But generally, it's around that 4-hour mark for games so light as a PSP game. Now, the next thing that we have to tackle of, is it worth it? Well, first of all, we have to define worth it. The price tag of said device, the A in Neo, is about $1,200. You can get a cheaper version if you want less storage, but the one I purchased, and this one specifically, is right around the $1,300 range. Is that worth it? Can you get something better for the money? Let's cover those questions first. So, is it worth it? And again, it comes back to definition. I believe that it's worth it for me, because I want to play PSP games and emulation games such as GameCube, Wii, Nintendo 64, stuff that's a little bit more demanding, PS2, that won't necessarily be able to run on just anything. The second reason is I like the form factor. It looks really clean. I chose the white model, obviously, because the whole studio is themed white, and I think it looks very clean and pristine. And is it built great? Oh yeah, this has great build quality. There's no issues there. It's touchscreen. The aspect ratio is only a 720p screen, but also, where your eyes are, you're not going to be able to necessarily see a huge difference. So I'm not going to harp on them for the screen or anything like that. Can this run Wii games and Sega Dreamcast games and Wii U games? Of course. And check out some previous videos that I did. We did some emulation tests on AAA games as well as some other emulation software. But as you can see, there's no skips, there's no stuttering, there's no issues for this system whatsoever. As you can see, this library is very extensive that I put on here. This is about 300 different games that I loaded on here. Some that I will play, some that I won't play, but I like to have options. And that's what this comes down to. It comes down to options. You can play Steam games. You can play emulation games. You can watch YouTube. You can do just so many different things with this system. I'm sure and I know that there's better PCs out there for the same price tag. But you're paying for, you would necessarily get like a laptop or something. You're not going to pay for this form factor with analog triggers, Xbox 360 and Xbox One controller support. So everything that can support an Xbox controller runs natively. Any PlayStation games or emulation games, you can simply just bind the keys once and all of your software play with the said keybinds. For example, I have to, set X for square for PlayStation, etc., etc. But after you set that up for the first time, it just works, which is really nice. How often can you get a product that you pull out of the box and just works? Now let's get down to some cons about this device. So now let's talk about something that I don't necessarily like. When you get this out of the box, there are so many drivers to update. It gets really stressful and really confusing really fast. I think there's 12 things that you have to update install just to get it to work. And if you move the left trigger, where my left, obviously, hand is, where the Daffy Duck is, my Daffy Duck tattoo, you can use that as a mouse, but you have to download a program called Joy-X Off, which is, a Joy-Con for a mouse, just like it sounds. But you have to download the software, and it doesn't always work, and if it's in full screen, it doesn't take effect, which is good, like if I'm playing a game like this. But if it's in windowed full screen or in windowed mode, the mouse moves, goes crazy, and, I'll open up applications that I'm not necessarily trying to open, which is really inconvenient, so sometimes I'll have to force close that application. The second thing that what I do really like about is there's buttons on the right-hand side, Windows for the Windows key, Escape for the Escape key, KB for the keyboard key, and TM for Task Manager. If you ever get stuck, you can hit Task Manager and you can just close something out, which is really, really nice. Another thing that I don't necessarily like about this system is all of the ports are USB-C, which is great for some, and it does come with USB-C to USB-A adapters, which is nice. But I wish that there was, an HDMI so I could put it on my TV or something like that. But unfortunately, it doesn't come with those inputs. Now let's load up something in the Steam library. Let's see what it looks like on a very demanding game. I have not changed my TDP. My total drawn power, or TDP, is still set to 20 at a max of 35. So I'm going to look up Biomutant real quick here. I'll hit launch and, it'll launch right up. No issues. Some games do have issues with the resolution. And what I mean by that is some games will load the resolution perfectly. Some will be super squinted and very hard to adjust. So when that instance comes up, you have to go into the A and Neo space and change the resolution, or you can change it in the settings. But if you can't get the settings to change in the game, you can go to the A and Neo space and do a master resolution reset where it actually changes the resolution of the screen, so then it forces the application to recognize the screen resolution. And that's not the end of the world, but it's still something that's kind of a hassle. I don't appreciate having to go out of, Fortnite, for example, or Biomutant at first, because the screen resolution won't fix itself. So there are certain things like that you're going to have to tweak. It's not perfect. But overall, if you want something that can play Wii games, GameCube games, all of the retro systems and emulations, this can do all of it. For everything from Atari 2600 all the way up to PS3, which is crazy because of the form factor. It's about the size of a Switch, just a little thicker. If you want something that can run AAA games on low to medium settings, this is great. But the battery life on said games are about 2 hours. It's nothing crazy. So if you are on, a 2-hour train ride, you can get the last bit of juice out of it, then great. But if you want this for a 6-hour flight and you want to do it, a AAA, game like Apex Legends or something, you will not be able to get that out of this unless it's hooked up to a charger, and then it's going to thermal throttle. I've had no problems with the cooling at all. During my playtests with the A and Neo, there's a fan on the back which dissipates the heat very well. Sometimes my hands do get a little bit cramped due to the positions of the Joy-Cons and everything, but I think that's just my hands personally. But other than that, I don't have any real issues with this system. It runs everything from emulation. It'll run Steam games. It's definitely going to be a competitor with the Steam Deck when it comes out. I think the Steam Deck might do a little bit better due to the price tag of the Steam Deck is about half what it is on the A and Neo. But you're also getting some other features that you're not getting with the Steam Deck, for example, all off-the-parts hardware. So overall, I would say that the experience for this is great. It's exactly what I thought it was. It's a great, strong gaming computer that's the size of a Switch and as a handheld. I can stream YouTube, I can play games, I can do literally everything that I want on this device, which not a lot of devices I can say that for. So if you can take the cons of the price tag, it's a little bit higher than the Steam Deck, and you can take the cons of you might have to do some manual customization yourself. I think this item is a great product. So now it's up to you. Is it worth it for you? Now that I've told you about the device, it's up to you to decide, is it worth it? Are you going to enjoy something like this? Are you going to enjoy tinkering with it? Would you rather have something like the Steam Deck where it's just all set up for you and it just works? Right? So it all comes down to, what are you going to use it for? What's your use case? If it fits your use case, I think it's a great product. And do your research on it, and if this is something that you like, then go ahead and buy one. But I would make sure that you do your research beforehand. That's all that I've got for you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode as much as I have. Join the community if you like this kind of content, and I'll see you in the next one.